Right now on NBC 26 Live at 10, a man in custody tonight after police say he shot and killed 8 people. Plus, Southeast Wisconsin police reporting 9 shootings in the past 24 hours. 2 of the 9 were fatal. And a Memorial Day gift to veterans from a veteran, all for a great cause. Developing news tonight in Mississippi, one man is charged with 8 counts of murder after authorities say he went on a shooting spree. NBC's Jan Chinnaman reports it all began as a domestic dispute.
I just wanted to live.
Authorities in Mississippi say an argument between a man and his estranged wife over their children ended in gunfire.
I ain't fit to live, not after what I done.
Saturday night, investigators say a sheriff's deputy was called to a domestic dispute in Lincoln County, about 70 miles south of Jackson. When the deputy arrived, he was shot and killed by a male subject, who then killed 3 women at the home and drove to 2 more homes and killed 4 more people before he was apprehended. Authorities identified the assailant as 35-year-old Willie Corey Godbolt. He talked to a local newspaper after his arrest.
I was having a conversation with her stepdaddy and her mama and her, my wife, about me taking my children home, and somebody called the office.
Moments later, he revealed his motive.
Suicide by cop was my intention.
The reporter who talked to Godbolt said it was surreal.
I'm not a psychologist, but he knew what he had done, and he was not afraid to talk about it.
In all, 8 people were killed, including a sheriff's deputy, identified as William Durr, a 6-year veteran of law enforcement. Vincent Mitchell, whose stepdaughter was married to Godbolt, was in one of the homes when the shooting started.
I honestly believe he came to kill everybody in the house. I honestly believe that.
Godbolt, who said he suffered a gunshot wound, was taken to a nearby hospital. Before he was transported, he was asked, "What's next?"
Deal.
Dan Shenneman, NBC News.
Now, Godbolt is being held on 1 count of capital murder and 7 counts of first-degree murder. Police in Southeast Wisconsin investigating multiple shootings in just 24 hours. 9 shootings in Milwaukee with multiple suspects. In all, 12 people were shot. 2 of those victims died. Now, out of all 9 shootings, only 1 person has been arrested so far. And among the victims, a 7-year-old girl. She was shot yesterday afternoon after a fight broke out near Appleton and Keefe Avenues. Her family tells us she's suffering from several wounds from shotgun buckshot and remains under close watch at a children's hospital. Well, at least 4 people were killed and several injured in a car accident in Wisconsin. The crash happened just after 5 p.m. on Highway 64 in Cornell. Patrol officers say an SUV and a truck that was hauling a trailer collided into each other, sending the vehicles off the road and into a ditch. Now, the cause of that crash is still unknown and is still under investigation. Well, switching gears now, the weather today was pretty beautiful. Matt Hoffman tells us about a change that's coming. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, some subtle changes tomorrow, Regina, for your Memorial Day. It will be a little bit cooler. Instead of 70s like we saw today, highs will be in the 60s, and we'll have a better chance at widespread scattered showers, especially in the afternoon. But most of today was dry, apart from the rain that we saw across much of the area this morning. Right now, it's 60 degrees in Green Bay. We've had a few spotty showers out there, but a lot of that is now drying up. And things should be quiet overnight with mostly clear skies. Temperatures have fallen into the lower 60s to upper 50s across northeast Wisconsin. Tomorrow for your Memorial Day, we will have a pretty good chance at on and off showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, especially in the afternoon. Cooler and windy. We'll have much more details on your Memorial Day forecast and what to expect for the week ahead coming up.
Now to more news, a couple of Wisconsin military veterans adding some 4-legged friends to their families. Earlier, we told you about Carl Kleins, a veteran helping his fellow men and women who fought for our freedom, struggling with PTSD. He's donating German Shepherd puppies to be service dogs, and today they picked up their new friends. NBC 26's Mo Hyder was there for that surprise.
These puppies are more than just pets for Brian Russo and Cliff Williams.
Here's your service dog, Gemma, and I hope she's going to be a great impact on your life. Thank you for your service to this country. I want you to have your service dog, Recon.
They'll be trained as service dogs to help both men with their PTSD. Brian came back from Iraq in 2003 and says life still hasn't been the same.
When we go out to like the mall or go to anywhere with big crowds, I have really bad panic and anxiety attacks where I want to run.
Cliff came back from Afghanistan in 2009.
I'll go into stores, but I'm not a fun person. I might go with my wife to the mall, and it's, let's hurry up, get this, and get out.
Carl Kleins runs Mulan Lab, a home for veterans, and donates service dogs to veterans with PTSD. He's confident these puppies are who they need.
It helps take the focus off of things that are going on around you, such as crowds and other things going on, and your focus is on keeping your dog safe.
After hearing about Kleins, both men are ready to embark on a new journey.
I hope to see me going out with my family and just doing things the kids want to do or things that my wife wants to do.
One step at a time.
And it'll help me feel more comfortable and more relaxed and a better husband to my wife and dad to my kids by going places more.
Now they have another friend to lean on when they need them the most.
Now those dogs that you just saw are still too young, but they will be fully trained and certified to help all the men and women in need across the country. In White Lake, Mo Hyder, NBC 26.
Now, Kleins is also working on building a place for veterans to stay on his property to help them with their PTSD. Today, service members participated in the annual Fleet Week Freedom Run in Manhattan, New York. Members of the Navy, Marine Corps, and the U.S. Coast Guard ran 1.7 miles to the 9/11 Memorial Plaza. The event ends with a moment of silence to honor the nearly 3,000 people who died on September 11th. It may not be a long run, but the Freedom Run organizers say it's significant. For the second time this month, Chetek, Wisconsin is united in tragedy. Hundreds gathered yesterday for the funeral of 17-year-old Owen Knutson. He died after the plane he was piloting crashed into Red Cedar River on Wednesday.
The community has shown us through their support, whether it be hugs, condolences, food, they've shown us what Owen gave the community, and that was heart.
Just hours after the funeral, seniors at Chetek High School celebrated their graduation 2 weeks ago. Chetek was the scene of a destructive and deadly tornado. And now to the Trump administration. President Trump is back at the White House tonight after his 9 days overseas trip, but still in the headlines. Possible collusions between the Russians and the Trump campaign. And now the spotlight is on Trump's son-in-law. NBC's Jennifer Johnson has the story.
President Trump back home at the White House as the Russian investigation hits close to home. The Washington Post is reporting that son-in-law Jared Kushner proposed with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. secret back-channel communication between the Kremlin and the Trump transition team to avoid U.S. surveillance. News concerning to the former National Intelligence Director.
I will tell you that my dashboard warning light was clearly on, and I think that was the case with all of us in the intelligence community.
But the Homeland Security Secretary disagrees.
Any line of communication to a country like Russia is a good thing.
President Trump tweeted Sunday, leaks coming out of the White House are fabricated lies made up by the fake news media. But the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee wants answers from Kushner.
There ought to be a review of his security clearance to find out whether he was truthful, whether he was candid. If not, then there's no way he can maintain that kind of a clearance.
The report says Kushner proposed using Russian diplomatic facilities to make the talks more difficult to monitor. Republicans say he is cooperating.
Jared has said that he's more than willing to answer any and all questions.
Committees in both the House and Senate are still investigating Russia's interference in the election, while possible collusion with the Trump campaign remains under FBI review. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
Well, you either love carbs or you're one of the many that choose not to partake, and Consumer Reports are showing it. But up next, it was a beautiful day today, but 70 years ago, it looked much different. Matt has the answer to some facts coming up.
You're connected to NBC 26 News at 10 with Regina On, Matt Hoffman Weather, and Chris Ferrier Sports. NBC 26 News at 10, keeping you connected. And now, your Storm Shield forecast with NBC 26 meteorologist Matt Hoffman.
You know, despite a little bit of rain, to begin the day. It was another beautiful day out there.
No, I agree.
It was
gorgeous.
Fantastic. Now, picture today, though, looking out your window, I'm sure you snapped it, you Instagrammed it. It was beautiful out. Picture a blanket of white.
Oh, gosh.
Everywhere. Could you imagine?
That's sad. That's a sad story.
This
Let's
is a really.
start it off with a sad story.
I know, this is a little bit depressing, but 70 years ago today, anywhere from 3 to as much as 9 inches of snow falling across northeast Wisconsin. And it was such a heavy, wet snow, and you had all the leaves on the trees. It brought down a lot of power lines, and trees were down as well. We had a viewer on Facebook saying like the lilacs were in full bloom, but they were just covered in white.
I'm glad I wasn't here 7 years ago. I'm just saying.
No, I know, right? That must have been a day, but yeah. So
such a difference today, though. It's beautiful outside.
That's so true. It was fantastic. Check out these high temperatures, 70s across most of northeast Wisconsin. It was fantastic weather-wise, and we saw a good amount of sunshine as well. 74 degrees, the high in Green Bay, 75 in Oshkosh, and many areas today getting into the 70s once again. Right now it's 60 degrees in Green Bay, a west wind at 7 miles per hour. In Appleton, currently 61 degrees down in the valley, a west wind at 7. Here's a look at the satellite and radar picture. We did have a few hit and miss shower and storms through the afternoon, but most areas stayed dry. We do have a few showers that tried to work on in from northwest Wisconsin this evening, but those are drying on up. So looking for mostly clear skies for the most part tonight. Storm Shield radar looking fairly quiet out there across northeast Wisconsin. Temperatures 60 in Mountain and 62 in Kewaunee, 63 in Oshkosh, and 60 in Fond du Lac, and 63 degrees currently in Manitowoc. Winds have come down. They were a bit breezy and blustery out there this afternoon, but they are going to pick up once again for tomorrow. It will be a windy day. We have a cold front that will be approaching, and that's going to touch off many more scattered showers and thunderstorms that you can kind of see off to the west. It was very active out there today. That's going to be our story for tomorrow on your Memorial Day. Also some cooler air to the north and west, and that's heading in our direction too, so it will be a cooler day tomorrow. Here's your Memorial Day forecast. We're looking at temperatures topping out only in the 60s. Winds will be blustery out of the west, and starting by late morning and then on into the afternoon, we will have the chance for on and off scattered showers and thunderstorms on into the evening. But for the most part, most areas will likely get in their parades tomorrow morning pretty well. 60s for the parades in Manitowoc, De Pere as well. And then Shawano could see a shower at times during the parade, but for most areas, Kewaunee and Chilton looking pretty good for tomorrow morning. In the afternoon for your barbecues, a different story. Notice as we head into Monday afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms erupting across the area. Severe threat is very low, but some of these could put down some pretty good downpours at times. It quiets down tomorrow night. And then Tuesday, starting off a little bit of sun, but look for another mix of sun and clouds and another chance at a few spotty showers across the area. Tonight, 52 degrees, mostly clear, cooler than for tomorrow. Starting off dry, but then scattered showers and thunderstorms developing for the afternoon, especially a high of right around 67 in Green Bay for your Memorial Day. And then your extended forecast looking like this. More rain chances on Tuesday. Wednesday right now looking dry. Could see a few more showers on Thursday, and then another chance at rain for Saturday.
I'm still thinking about that snow total from 70 years ago. Wow.
You know, we get some wild weather in western Wisconsin, but that's got to be one of the top weather events.
You know, we were just talking about it. I mean, sometimes in summer it does get a little bit colder, right? Just to prepare myself.
It won't get that cold.
Okay, all right, Matt, thanks so much.
Yep.
Well, an excuse to eat some burgers. Maybe set your diet aside at least for tomorrow. We'll tell you why. Call it carbophobia. The love affair with traditional pasta is cooling as health-conscious consumers look to take other options. It appears the gluten-free trend, along with low-carb diets, have caught up with the traditional staple, contributing to flat and declining sales in many key markets. Now, according to market research for Mintel, the compound annual growth rate for pasta between 2011 and 2015 was actually flat in the U.S. Mintel saying about 1/3 of households have at least one person that eats gluten-free foods. Well, nothing says summer quite like a hamburger on the grill, and tomorrow is the unofficial holiday marking Americans' love for burgers. Americans consume roughly 50 billion burgers a year, according to market research from NPD Group. U.S. restaurants sold 9 billion burgers in 2014. That was 30 million more than the year prior, despite the price of beef rising to record highs. BMW is recalling more than 45,000 older cars because their doors can unexpectedly open. The recall covers certain 7 Series vehicles from model years 2005 through 2008 that have the comfort access and soft door close options. BMW saying the doors can appear to be closed and latched on, but they can unexpectedly open due to road conditions or occupant contact with the door, increasing your risk of injury. The automaker is still working to find the cause of the problem and hope to find a fix. Well, thank you for spending your Sunday night with me. Stick around for Sports Rewind. Chris Barrier and Kelly Price are coming up your way.
Good evening. Welcome to Sunday Sports Rewind. I'm Chris Barrier. Kelly Price will join us soon. We've got a busy Packers off-season themed show tonight, so let's get her going.
The personality of the football team, you have to start from scratch each and every year.
I think at this point, when you're adding new guys to the mix, it's about chemistry.
And I always play on the low edge. I try not to jump off the edge, but I try to go as close as possible.
Go! Oh, good pad over now.
I feel like this is a good landing spot for me, and I do fit in well in the offense.
We lost a lot last year, so we need guys to step up.
There's a starting point. This is our opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
Ah, yes, you can almost feel it. The first of 4 OTAs took place this week, and our own Kelly Price was at Lambeau covering the Packers. We welcome her into the show now, and Kelly, a lot of new faces in that locker room this year, perhaps none more entertaining than free agent signing Martellus Bennett.
You bet. Thanks, Chris. The Packers signed 5 free agents this offseason, the most since 2006, and the biggest literally being tight end Martellus Bennett. And as Chris mentioned, the former Patriot is making headlines, already drawing comparisons to a certain Journey's man.
He has inside jokes with all of the Packers, even the ones he hasn't met yet. When opportunity knocks and he's not home, it waits for him. His pillow is cool on both sides. When he was a New York Giant, he saved a fan's life after beating the Packers. Okay, that one is actually for real. You can look it up. Yes, the Packers have their own most interesting man in Green Bay. It's easy to fall into a rabbit hole of interesting Martellus Bennett facts, and his accomplishments can read like a tricky multiple choice test. Did he produce an animated kids movie? Does he hide Oreos in his scruffy beard? Did he dress up like a dinosaur last Christmas? Admit it, you're not sure which of those is the false statement. But he likes being the wild card.
I think when people see me, the first thing they do is smile because they don't know what the hell I'm going to say next.
He may have just listened to the audiobook for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on his commute from Chicago, but Bennett also hitchhiked himself in real life to training camp this time last season. This year, he's bonding with teammates in a more traditional way.
And try to infuse myself into in those situations with them where it's like, whether it's, talking books with some guys or talking, girls with other guys, giving advice on women or other guys or wherever it may be. There's a lot. I mean, I've been fortunate enough. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, and I know a little bit about a lot. I don't know a lot about anything.
But he actually does know a lot. Not only is he a bookworm, but he's kind of the Packers' resident philosopher.
I like a lot of philosophy. Like, I love Malcolm Gladwell, Eckhart Tolle. The Alchemist is a great book. I mean, those are classic. But I write fiction, so I read fiction. It's good for me. I mean, the creative adult is the kid who survived.
And Bennett is never shy about his opinions, from not attending the Patriots' trip to the White House to his disdain for male rompers.
Male rompers? You mean he's not a fan of the romp him, if you will?
Shocking, I know. He tweeted, quote, "I would probably call the police on myself if I ever wore a male romper because I would totally be violating myself," unquote.
That's good stuff. Thank you, Kelly. Speaking of Twitter, if you don't follow Bennett, you need to. The man brings the social media fire pretty much every day. Check out some of these tweets from just the past few months. One from today: dipping Oreos in peanut butter and not feeling judged by anyone is a great feeling. Couldn't agree with you more, Martellus. Another: my goals this offseason are to learn stop motion and how to play jazz on the trombone. Who wouldn't love to do both of those? And finally, my favorite: when you wonder what I'm up to today, just visualize this picture, know that I'm being awesome, with a picture of Martellus riding a T-Rex. When we come back, Jordy Nelson's charity softball rosters are set, and Aaron Rodgers says it's time for new leaders to step up for the green and gold. You're watching Sunday Sports Rewind.